Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to another episode of Monster Trading. And today we're going to talk about major currency pairs. Now, remember, last video I talked about what currency pairs are. And just to give you a quick review, currency pairs help measure a country's currency value against another country's currency, right? And then remember, currency reflects the value of the country based on the size of the economy, supply and demand, interest rates, capital inflow, and money supply, right? And it tells us how much it costs to buy one base currency. Now, if you, like I said, if you go back to the last video, you remember the difference between quote currencies and base currencies. And it tells us how much it costs in quote currency to buy one base currency. So now in this video, I'm going to talk about the major currency pairs. Now, there are 7 major currency pairs. I say about 90% of traders on forex trade these 7 major currency pairs. And mind you, there are over 180 currency pairs you can trade in forex. It is not just these 7 pairs, right? And then, one thing you're going to learn is USD is the biggest currency you could trade in the whole entire world. It is still number one. USD is still the number one currency pair you could trade. And it's the most commonly paired trade because it is the number one currency in the world. Now, as of right now, 2023, I know you're probably watching the news and they saying that it probably won't be the dominant, currency in the world within the next couple years, months, who knows. But as of right now, USD is still the number one currency pair you could trade. So who knows what the hell is going to happen. But like I said, USD is still the most dominant currency. And like I said, 90% of traders trade these 7 major currency pairs. You got GBP, USD, Euro USD, USD CAD, USD JPY, and USD JPY is one of my favorite pairs to trade. It's the pair that I started off trading with the first couple years when I was learning what forex is, and it's a good pair for a lot of beginners. It's not as volatile, and like I said, it's a good pair to start with. And then if you can continue on, you got USD CHF, you got AUD USD New Zealand dollar versus the US dollar. And mind you, these 7 currency pairs, like I said, are traded by 90% of forex traders when they do trade. But there are over 180 currency pairs you can trade. And then next up, you got exotic currency pairs. And these is it's a major currency basically paired with a developing country's currency. For example, you got USD TRY, USD CZK, Euro TRY, US dollar versus the Mexican dollar, and INR, Great British Pound. And it's just basically, once again, like I said, major currency paired against a developing country's currency. And then you got your cross-currency pairs. And these are called cross-currency pairs because these are currency pairs which are non-USD. And mind you, like I said, the United States dollar is the number one currency in the world, so therefore it's the number one traded currency. And, cross-currency pairs are a country's currency value against another country's currency, which does not include the United States dollar, so therefore it would be considered a cross-currency pair. And, for example, you got your euro crosses. You got your euro versus the Great British Pound, your euro versus Aussie dollar, your euro versus New Zealand dollar, and then you got your yen crosses, which is Japanese yen. So you got your Aussie dollar versus Japanese yen, your Great British Pound versus Japanese yen, your Great British Pound versus the New Zealand dollar, and then last but not least, you got your pound crosses. You got your Great British Pound versus the Aussie dollar, the Great British Pound versus the New Zealand dollar, and the Great British Pound versus Japanese yen. And once again, none of these pairs include the United States dollar, so therefore it's considered a cross-currency pair because you're not trading, it's not USD. Now, when you learn about currency pairs and the major currency pairs, a lot of people will break it down into 3 categories. And they break it down to majors, the crosses, and the exotics. But you can even trade different, even more. You could trade indices, you could trade metals, you can even trade cryptos, right? So don't think you could just only trade 3 major currency pairs. You could trade all type of different things. You could trade the UK 100, and the UK 100 is one of the most widely used metrics when evaluating the performance of the UK economy. You can even trade US 30, and US 30 is also known as the Dow Jones Average. It is a stock market index that measures the stock performance of 30 large blue chip companies trading on the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ. And then you got your Aussie 200, which is an index of the 200 companies by market capitalization listed on the Australian Stock Exchange. And then last but not least, you can even trade the NASDAQ 100. It is an index that consists of the 100 largest non-financial companies listed on the NASDAQ Stock Exchange. So you could trade, you don't just trade just FX crosses, majors, and exotics. You can even trade indices. And like I said, you could trade metals. You could trade gold, you could trade silver. And gold is XAU USD, and then silver is XAG USD. And these are all traded against the US dollar. So you can even trade metals. So you could literally trade everything. And yes, you could even trade stocks on forex. So when I say you could literally trade anything on forex, I really do mean it. You could trade the stock of Apple. You could trade the stock of DoorDash, eBay, Netflix, Facebook, AT&T, and it goes on and on. So whichever major company, if you want to trade their stock, you can. You could trade that on forex. And then we come to cryptocurrency. Now, a lot of you guys are familiar with cryptocurrency. It's the next new big thing. Everybody's been talking about it. You done talked about it at work with your co-workers. You done talked about it with your family members, your friends. Everybody's talking about cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin. You got people who go around preaching, oh, buy Bitcoin, And then for my hustlers and my juggers, we knew about Bitcoin back in 2013, 14. We was loading the coin up, loading the site up through Bitcoin. So the whole time we could have been trading it as well. So, then you got Dogecoin. I know last year a lot of people were going crazy about Dogecoin. You could do Dogecoin versus the US dollar. Also Ethereum. A lot of people were talking about Ethereum. You could do Ethereum versus US dollar. You can even trade Ethereum versus Bitcoin. And then now you got Litecoin. You could do Litecoin versus the US dollar. So any cryptocurrency you could think of, you could trade that on forex as well. Now, all of these currency pairs, metals and cryptos, whatever you want to trade, you can find all this on forex, and you can find all this on MT4 or MT5, whichever platform you use to download to trade with. And you will find all these, like I said, currency pairs, metals, and cryptos all on this platform. So if you're serious about trading and you want to get into it, the first thing I would recommend is download MT4. And I recommend MT4. I know there's an MT5, but I like MT4 the best. So, if you want to, like I said, if you want to take forex serious, go ahead and download MT4, and you will see all these currency pairs and everything you need to trade all on this platform.